Good morning, everyone. So today we will continue our personal reliefs. All right. So last week we have gone through the different types of relief and personal relief, wife relief, and also child relief. All right. So these are the summary of personal relief. And then, okay, I asked you to compute Mr. Mahen's question for the tutorial question, but that one is actually up to total income. So I want you to go back to your tutorial question, our Mr. Mahen, and continue with this one. You still have the question, right, for Mr. Mahen?
Madam.
Okay. I think we have gone through the answer for Mr. Mahen, right? The total up to total income, is it?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we stop at total income, which is, how much is the total income? 171,404, right? Let me share with you the solution here. All right. So this is what we have for Mr. Mahen for last week's question, because I want you to compute up to total income. Okay, so if you look at the computation, then you can refer back to your tutorial answer. So what we have for Mr. Mahen here is the employment income, dividend income, interest income. He has royalty, okay, and then rental income, up to total income of 171,404. Okay, sampai sini you all dah dapat kan? Until 171,404. And then I want you to continue with this question. Okay. Let me share again. It's in your PowerPoint slide. The continuation for Mr. Mahen. Have you tried this one? This is personal relief for Mr. Mahen. This is just the computation of personal relief. So can you compute this one first? Ini kita belum buat last week kan?
Belum.
Okay, so you can try the personal relief for Mr. Mahen because you can stop at total income, the one that we get before, but this is the continuation, so you can just continue with the personal relief here. Because we have 5 additional information here. He retired as a senior lecturer, okay, and then contributed 1,320 per month to the EPF. He also pays 4,004 for a life insurance policy. This is for year assessment to 2018. Married to Gomati, a housewife, and has 2 children studying in Malaysian public universities. Incurred over 8,000 in 2018 on the education of each of his children, and he spent 12,000 on fees during the year in pursuing a doctorate degree in management science at a local university. Spent 1,001 towards the purchase of books for himself and his family. Produced receipt for 700 worth of books. Purchased tennis racket 300 during the year. Appropriate receipt were enclosed. Alright, can you try to calculate the personal relief for Mr. Mahir? Alright, done? Alright, what will be the first personal relief for Mr. Mahir?
Yeah.
The first one would be self-relief, which is 9,000. Alright. What about EPF? He contribute 1320 per month to EPF. Also 4,004 for a life insurance policy.
Is it
6,000.
6,000?
Look at the year assessment. Is it 6,000? 2018. 2018. EPF and life insurance, we can combine up to 7,000 kan? But life insurance maximum berapa? Because you have to look at the year of assessment. Here is to 2018 If you, alright. So 6,000 for year assessment 2018. For 2018 you can still combine 2019 yang kita separate into EPF and life insurance. So here how much? You can total je lah both ni The maximum is 6,000. You cannot put maximum because the total here tak sampai 6,000 kan? How much is it? 1,320,44,00. 5,720 You cannot put 6,000. 6,000 is the maximum. So he only spent 1,320 for EPF and 4,004 for a life insurance policy. So you can add these two together and it is still less than 6,000. So kita boleh guna relief lah of 5,720 But because this is for year assessment 2018. But if it is year assessment 2019, tak boleh lah. 2019 kena ikut macam ni 2019 dia life and EPF up to 7,000 but separate 4,000 for EPF and 3,000 for life insurance. Point number 2. So since the wife is a housewife, kita boleh bagi dia wife relief. How much is the wife relief?
4,000.
4,000, okay. And 2 children studying in Malaysian public universities?
8,000.
8,000 each, sebab dia ada dua, so that would be 8 times 2 lah. Alright, spend 12,000 on fees during the year pursuing doctorate degrees. This is course fee maximum. Can he claim all 12,000 tak?
7.
Can he claim all 12,000? For course fee, can he claim all 12,000? No, eh? What is the maximum?
1,000.
7,000.
7,000.
Alright, and number 4 and 5, he spent 1,001 towards the purchase of books, but only able to produce receipt for 700 worth of books, and also purchase tennis racket for 300 during the year. Appropriate receipt were enclosed. So these two, point number 4 and 5 is actually under lifestyle relief. So how much can he claim? Can he claim all? 1,001 plus 300? How much can he claim for the last one?
2.5 kan, madam? So,
Yeah.
1.4.
Okay, tapi tengok tak? Receipt only for 700, you must support all the purchases with receipt. So, dia tak boleh claim all 1,100 ni sebab receipt 700 je. Plus the tennis racket, 300.
1,000.
So this is what you should have. Alamak, lari pula. Okay, so Mr. Maher ni will get 9,000 for himself, 4,000 for the wife, relief and children. So dia ada 2 children studying at Malaysian Public University. So university student 8,000 times 2 EPF and life, this is the maximum lah, 5,720. Tak boleh 6 sebab they only spend 5,720. Fees for doctorate studies maximum 7,000 and lifestyle relief. Lifestyle relief ni memang maximum is 2,005 but he only has receipt for 1,000 je. 700 for books, 300 for tennis racket. Any question? So from here, if you can continue from your answer total income tu so you can minus the total relief ni lah to get the chargeable income for Mr. Mahen. Saya tak letak figure kat dalam ni. Any question for this personal relief tak? Tak ada okay. If okay, I will proceed with rebates. Because for today, we will continue with combined assessment. Last week kita buat separate assessment je untuk each individual. Alright, so next one would be rebate. So if you remember, if you look at the format of tax payable, so the rebates would be after we calculate total income, or the rebates, but the relief would be after we calculate total income. So total income minus rebates, that will give us chargeable income. So from chargeable income ni, kita akan compute the tax payable. Once you get the tax payable, we can deduct a few more items under rebates. Alright, so the rebates are deducted from income tax charge and deducted before any set off under section 110 any tax credit ni. And the types of rebates, we have two, self and wife for section 6A2, and also zakat, fitrah and other Islamic religious dues under section 6A3. Dua ni je. Alright, so this is the summary. For self, if the resident individual chargeable income does not exceed 35,000, he or she is eligible for a rebate of 400 ringgit. Okay. And also rebate for wife, if the wife living together with the husband also has elected for combined assessment. If wife assessed separately and resident individual chargeable income does not exceed 35,000. So sama lah, this is the self for a husband tu. And if the wife assessed separately, so means that the separate assessment for the wife also can get a rebate of 400. ringgit if the chargeable income is less than 35,000. And the second one is zakat and also fitrah lah. So this is for this is Islamic tax. So this one, the amount is just restricted to tax payable. So which means if you pay zakat more than what your tax payable would be, the zakat is not refundable. Okay, but if you pay tax more than what you have to pay, let's say in a year I have to pay 3,000 ringgit tax. Okay, but I pay more. When I pay more, I can get tax refund because I pay tax, let's say I have to pay 3,000 but I pay 3,500 sebab saya buat potongan cukai berjadual tu kan. So I deduct my salary every month. So that is just the, kita kata, forecasting figure lah. So you just buat anggaran and then you deduct the income, the tax based on the salary. And let's say for a year I paid 3,500 for my tax. But after I calculate everything minus all the relief and so on, so I actually have to pay tax only 3,000. So I can get the 5,000 refund from the lembaga hasil. But if I pay zakat more, for example, I pay, if let's say we use the same figure, I pay 3,500 ringgit zakat. Okay. And based on my calculation, my tax payable is actually 3,000 only, but I pay zakat up to 3,500. I cannot get back the additional 500 from my zakat. So zakat is not refundable. Only tax payable is refundable. So zakat and fitrah, zakat is not refundable. So which means you bayar lebih for the zakat, then you cannot get a refund. But for tax, yes.
Madam,
Yep.
maksud refundable tu maksudnya kita tak boleh carry yang lebih tu ke tahun depan Macam tu?
Tak boleh. Because for even for tax payable pun, if you pay tax extra for that particular year, so tax and zakat ni is calculated on a yearly basis. Dia tak ada carry forward. Even the relief pun, because if you look at the first, I think I've shared with you mana this one kan. Alright. So for example, this one, so if you look at the format of our chargeable income ni, tadi for Mr. Mahen, we had total income that we calculated last week, and then kita ada relief dia. We have one figure called chargeable income. So in your calculation, please write down the different types of income to total income, statutory income, chargeable income. You have marks for that. And I really want you to know the different types of income bila kita calculate ni. And then here, what we're going to do here is the rebates. So rebates here, once you have the chargeable income, we will compute the tax payable based on this chargeable income. Okay, and rebates. Tadi saya kata if the chargeable income is less than 35,000, people will get rebate of 400 ringgit. So here, katakanlah your net tax payable, let's say this is based on our calculation. Like I said, in my case, for example, my net tax payable based on this calculation after deducted all the relief, I have to pay 3,000 ringgit tax. But based on my salary deducted every month, I already paid 3,500 to lembaga hasil. I already paid, which means I pay every month 3,500 for a year. But based on my calculation, I only have to pay 3,000. So the 500 tu lembaga hasil will refund back to me. There is no carry forward. They will refund because the tax is calculated every year. So here, if the chargeable income is equals to the total income ni, which means total income dah tolak relief kan, so sama so there will be no chargeable income lah, because tak ada here minus here dah dapat zero, there will be no chargeable income. And also the relief, and like I said last week, if for the relief also cannot be carried forward. Let's say your total income is 50,000, your relief is 55,000, you are entitled to more relief than your chargeable income. So the 5,000 different though, you will not get any refund for that. Okay, and also there is no carry forward tax payable. Alright.
Madam.
Okay. Nanti bila kita buat soalan nanti, I think you will have a clearer picture bila kita buat calculation up to tax payable. Because up to now for Mr. Mahen ni, I haven't show you the tax payable calculation, we only stop at chargeable income. Nanti bila sampai we have another question, nanti we will calculate up to tax payable. Alright. Okay. Alright, what we have done so far is considered as a separate assessment, which means one individual will be assessed based on him or her only. Alright, for example, here for Mr. Mahin, his wife is a housewife. So means that she has no income and there is no indication that she has any income. That is why she elect for a combined assessment with the husband. That is why the husband entitled to get a wife relief of 4,000. Alright, so apa yang kita buat before this is actually all the separate assessment. But here what we have, when we have a separate assessment, so a wife is assessed separately on her income from all sources. So she will be treated as an individual for tax purposes. But for your information juga, once you get married, and especially for a woman, once you get married, your tax number will be tagged to the husband. That is why when we do the child relief, once the children gets married, so the parents dah tak boleh claim the relief dah, because once you get married, you have your own tax file number tagged to the husband. Okay, but if you have your own income, you will be assessed separately. Better that way, because at the end of the day, our objective is actually to minimize our tax payable. Okay, kita bukan nak lari, we are not saying that you don't want to pay tax. You want to pay, but we try to minimize. That is the purpose of tax planning, to minimize the tax paid. So what we can say is that for a wife who has an income, and normally the wife will be assessed separately. Better to be assessed separately, because for example, if you assess yourself, you get a self-relief of 9,000. The husband also get a self-relief of 9,000. But if you combine, the husband get 9,000, the wife relief only 4,000. Nampak tak? So the tax will be higher, kan? Because now our purpose is actually to minimize our tax paid. So if an individual or a wife has her own income, it is better for her to be assessed separately. Alright? And personally taxable on her chargeable income. But the wife may elect under section 45(2) to be assessed jointly with her husband. If you do not do anything, you will be assessed separately. If you want to be combined with the husband, then you have to elect. Kita kena pilih, and you have to decide nak kena pilih buat combined assessment. Otherwise, automatically you akan jadi separate assessment, separately assessed. And the election should normally be made only if it benefits the taxpayer, and the choice is entirely that of the taxpayer. Suka hati, up to the taxpayer. You want to elect or not. If let's say you don't have income, or you have income but you want to be assessed together with the husband, pun boleh, no problem, no issue. Up to the taxpayer. Okay. But again, this is where tax planning comes in. Like I said, we want to minimize our tax paid. As a household, you want to minimize the tax paid. That is why we do some calculation to see which one is better, combined assessment or separate assessment. Alright, but for combined assessment, that is why automatically you will be assessed separately. But if you elect for combined assessment, you must fulfill these conditions. Number one, the husband and wife are living together in the basis year for a year of assessment. If you are separated, if you are divorced, then cannot lah. Combined assessment mesti in that particular year tu mesti masih lagi live together as a husband and wife. The husband and wife do not in that basis year cease to live together or to be husband and wife. Like I said, kalau divorce, kalau separate tak boleh lah. Where a wife is not resident for the basis year, she may elect for aggregation of her total income only if she is a Malaysian citizen. Okay, let's say in that particular year, the wife is not in Malaysia, so she is not a resident, but she is a Malaysian citizen. Right? Remember, not all Malaysian citizens are tax resident, kan? If she is a Malaysian citizen but not resident for that basis year, she can also elect for combined assessment. And she must have total income to be aggregated with the husband. Right? Nak combined assessment mesti ada total income. And the election shall be made in a written furnished in accordance with Section 77. But where a married woman is not living together with her husband or they cease to be husband and wife, there is no possibility of aggregation of income. So each will be assessed separately. Okay. So the first condition mesti they must be living together in the basis year of assessment. Alright, so this is the kita kata the scale tax rate lah. So you see, we are talking about chargeable income. If the chargeable income, this is chargeable income, you know the calculation kan, the total income less all the relief entitled, that will leave us with chargeable income for a year. If the chargeable income is less than 5,000, a person will not be taxed. About 5,000 not be taxed. But only up to 5,001 ringgit. 5,001 dah kena tax lah. The rate is 1%. So normally, if you get the first 5,001 too, you get 1%. So 1% times 5,001. So that is the minimum tax to be paid for a person. So that is why, since it is a concept of the higher you earn, the more tax you have to pay. Nampak the percentage dia. 1%, 3%, 8%, sampailah. If your chargeable income exceed 1 million, then the tax would be 28%. Okay, it will be taxed at 28%. Otherwise, 24, 25. Ini tahun bila punya ni ya? I have to check again. But there's not much different in the scale rate ni. We can go to Lembaga Hasil website to see the scale rate, and this will be used for us to calculate the tax payable. Alright, I have one example for you. This is for joint assessment or combined assessment. We can use the word joint assessment or combined assessment. Alright, so what we have here, because what we have done so far is all the separate assessment. Kita assess one by one, but here we have Mustafa and Rashikin here. Okay. Example for combined assessment. So here Mustafa and Rashikin have income from employment 40,000 and 30,000 respectively in 2019. Rashikin elects for her income to be jointly assessed with her husband. Alright. During the year, Mustafa paid 100 for zakat. Rashikin incurred books and magazines amounted to 1,200 and medical examination expense of 500. They have one disabled child. So the tax payable for year assessment 2019 will be computed as follows. So if they combine, kita kena buat macam ni lah. You put the husband income first, Mustafa employment income 40,000. This is a very direct question. You don't have all the section 31 A, B, C, tak ada. So kita bagi straight the income from employment. So easy for you to calculate. So very straightforward question. So Mustafa income 40,000, the wife income 30,000. Because this is combined assessment, you can combine both. Otherwise, if for separate assessment, even though you have figures for both husband and wife, you have to compute two tax computation. But here only one tax computation. Alright, so the total income is 70,000. So remember the personal relief, the self-relief for Mustafa. So since the wife elects for joint assessment, so he gets a wife relief of 4,000. Alright, child, dia ada dekat sini. They have one disabled child. So disabled child, 6,000. Lifestyle, incurred books and magazine, 1,200. This is for lifestyle. And medical examination, 500. Maximum pun 500. Alright. Okay, in this case, for example, ada EPF. EPF for the husband, 11%. So 11% from his income, 4,400. Wife EPF, 11% from 30,000, 3,300. But for EPF ni, for year assessment 2019, maximum EPF is only 4,000. Right, combine. Remember, this is a combined assessment, so you combine je. So limit 4,000. So this is the relief, 24,700. So total income minus relief, that will give us a chargeable income. Okay, so based on the chargeable income, we can now calculate the tax payables. Okay, looking at the scale rate. So now the chargeable income is, okay, Okay. Alright, so look at the chargeable income. Dia ada 45,300. This is how you read the table, right? Look at this figure, 45,300. Okay. So 45,000 tempat dia dekat sini. Alright, this is how you read the scale rate table. So now their chargeable income is 45,300, so which is in between 35 to 50,000. Alright, so based on our calculation, this is how you read the table. So on the first 35,600 ringgit, alright, tadi dia dapat 45,300. So, sekejap. Saya tulis sikit lah dekat sini. Alright, so here 45,000 so this is how kita baca lah the tax rate dia. So first 35,000 tadi 600, so balance at sini tadi dekat sini 35 to 50, balance at 8%. So 8%. So balance would be 10,300 at 8%, that would give us 824. So total 84 ni akan dapat 1424. Betul tak? Okay. Okay, boleh faham You understand how to read the scale rate table ni? Alright, because here the total income is 45,300. Alright. So kita baca dekat sini lah. 600 and the remaining would be 8%. 10,300 at 8%. So that will give us 824. So this will be tax payable of 1424. So in the question we have ni Mustafa paid 100 for zakat. So zakat would be a rebate. Zakat kita tak tolak dekat atas ni. Zakat, the position of zakat is after we calculate the tax payable. So 1424 minus 100 zakat, that will give us 1324 for Mustafa and Nur Rashikin. Alright, later I have one more question for you. So next one is actually the tax conduct. This is with business income. Nanti I'll go back. We'll come back to this when we do business income. So this is basically the steps in computing the chargeable income of a taxable person. Alright, first of all, the basis period. This is very important because you can see our relief need keep changing every year. For example, 2018 we have a different set of relief and different maximum amount, and 2019 and also 2020. So first of all, you have to be very careful and you have to highlight the year of assessment, whether it is 2018, 19 or 2020. And the gross income for each source of the basis period for the relevant year is determined, alright? So if the person has income from business source, so you have to determine the adjusted business income dulu, and then other non-business income, because the flow of the income is actually, we have to start with section 4A, small a, section 4A, business income, and then go with B, employment income, C, D, E until F. So kita akan susun macam tu lah, up to every types of income too, you have to calculate the gross income. And if we have some adjustments, so we have to do the adjustment that will give us adjusted income. For example, for rental income so we have expenses, we have adjustments, we have adjusted income from rental. And then next stage is the statutory income from a business source, all right, in case we have balancing charges and capital allowance. So if there is no adjustment for the business income, then the adjusted income will also be the statutory income. So you have to be very careful with the format dekat sini. I really hope to see that once you do the calculation, I will see the, for example, statutory income and then aggregate income contohnya. So the statutory income from business is aggregated, alright, and any unabsorbed business loss brought forward are then deducted against the aggregate business income. Aggregate income is the net statutory business income with statutory income from non-business source. Restriction of donation to 7% applies to individual, body of person and corporate soul. 10% restriction applies to companies for donation. And total income arrived by deducting from aggregate income, the basis year business loss, prospective expenditure kalau ada, and also approve donation. So for a company, total income is the chargeable income. Company dia tak ada chargeable income, kita kira total income je lah because there is no relief for a company. Personal relief only for individual, right? So total income is the chargeable income for a company. So in the case of a resident individual, chargeable income is the total income reduced by any personal relief due. And the chargeable income will be subject to tax at the appropriate tax rate, and deductions, if any, will be included, such as self, wife, zakat, and also fitrah. If any, kalau ada. Alright, I have one question for you. Sekejap saya cari. Oh, before that, can we go back to Mustafa and Rashikin question just now? I share with you again the question. Alright, here we are looking at joint assessment for Mustafa and Rashikin. So when we have a joint assessment, dia akan jadi macam ni lah. Only one next tax payable figure for the husband. Alright, I want you now to try to compute if they are separately assessed, which means you have to have two columns lah. One for Mustafa and one for Rashikin. Okay, and for this one, I think kita bagi the children, anak yang disabled tu, kejap. Twenty assess, separate assessment. The child, we give the child to Mustafa. Right, can you try to do it now? Stop. I share with you the question again. Alright, same question, but I want you to compute based on separate assessment. One for Mustafa and one for Rashikin, and the child is given to Mustafa. The rest you just follow. Whoever incur the expenses, so the relief will go to that person. Alright, done?
Not yet, madam.
Okay.
Dah, madam.
Alright. Okay, so what we have just now is a combined assessment, and when we have the separate assessment, right, so you can check your answer here. So for example, let's look at Mustafa here, alright, so his personal employment income is 40,000, and of course he will get a personal relief 9,000. Child relief, I said the disabled child will go to the father tadi, so 6,000. Lifestyle medical tak ada, and we have EPF tadi limited to 4,000 ringgit. Alright, because this is your assessment 2019 Nampak tak? EPF tadi 4,004 kan? So when dia combine assessment, kita combine both and we just take 4 for both. Now his EPF is 4,400, but again the maximum is 4,004. So the chargeable income is 21,000. So income tax payable based on our schedule is 180, and ada rebate lah. This is actually under section 110 So because the chargeable income is less than 35,000. Okay. And Nora Shikin, employment income 30,000. Personal relief 9,000. Lifestyle, tadi dia beli books and magazine 1,200. Medical examination 500. EPF, her EPF is only 3,300 so the maximum is 4,000, so she can claim all 3,300. So the chargeable income is 16,000. Alright, so based on our table tadi, the chargeable, the tax payable would be 110 ringgit. But remember, their chargeable income ni is actually less than 35,000. Right? Remember, it's in your notes. The rebate is for individual who has a chargeable income of less than 35,000. Alright, so they are entitled to a rebate. Rebate tu 400 ringgit tau. Kalau tengok, if you look at the table, the rebate here would be 400 ringgit, but look at the tax payable. For Mustafa, the tax payable is only 180 ringgit. So tak bolehlah tolak rebate 400 dekat sini. So maximum is only 180 restricted. Sama dengan Nora Shikin, the chargeable income is 16,000, the tax payable is 110. Or even though she is entitled to a rebate of 400 ringgit because of the chargeable income is less than 35,000, but the rebate is restricted to 110 up to the tax payable je. And you see, walaupun dia bayar zakat, now dah tak payah tolak, dah habis dah. If they separately assess their income, nampak tak, they don't have to pay tax pun compared to this one. If they combine assessment, they have to pay 1,324 tax. But here, if they assess separately, nampak, they don't have to pay tax. So this is what we call a tax planning. So when husband and wife can play around with the figure and see which one is better for them, either separate assessment or combined assessment. So in this case, separate assessment is better, right? Any questions?
No.
Okay, semua boleh Alright. I have another question for you, tapi soalan ni a bit long alright, so now I want you to go back to our quiz question Haziq tu, but this is a continuation saya nak you all continue je. Alright, so if you can, you don't have to go back to the question pun, this is actually from the same question, the one that we did a quiz to for Haziq too, and then we have there the aggregate income of 101,283. So I want you to continue, this is the additional information for Haziq. Alright, so maybe you can try this question now. So for example here we have Haziq. So you can start with the aggregate income 101,283. So during the year he received 10,000 ringgit dividend income from Malaysian company and through 2,375 interest income from Malaysian bank. After a lengthy battle, Haziq obtained a divorce from his wife Sandy on 1st October 2019. Under the divorce order, the cost of the maintenance of their 2 children was ruled as follows. So the first child, Simon, was given Haziq was given the full custody. The son is 19 years old and attending at pursuing a course in accounting. So for the relevant year, Haziq incurred 5,002 on the child maintenance. And Daisy, his wife Sandy, obtained full custody of Daisy. So the child is 17 years old and is taking private music lessons through correspondence from a college in New Zealand. So the child hopes to qualify as a professional musician. Up to the date of the divorce, Haziq incurred 4,006 and thereafter Sandy incurred 5,004 on the child's maintenance. Daisy is a disabled child. So we have additional information, spent 1,200 on books and 2,000 on his smartphone, deposited 7,000 in the National Education Savings Scheme for Simon, donated 3,000 to an approved Malaysian charitable institution. So you have to compute Haziq's tax payable for year assessment 2019. Alright, boleh cuba dulu soalan ni. Uh, 101,283 eh. Alright, so these are the additional income and also relief. Okay, so this is where we should start eh. Right, yeah, task ni is actually the answer yang kita buat last week eh. Alright, so we start with aggregate income. So he donated 3,000 to approved institution eh. Here we have the additional information here. Approved Malaysian charitable institution. So donation should be put here after the aggregate income. Minus donation 3,000. So this is the total income 98,283. Alright, so let's look at the relief 9,000 for self. And the child relief, Simon ni belajar dekat university So 8,000 because Simon, he gets the custody for the first child Simon. The second child, alright, Daisy ni is a disabled child. Nampak anak dia yang second but the wife get the full custody. Look at the date they had a divorce in October. But Simon has the full custody, Haziq has the full custody for the first child. So 8,000 straight away we give to Haziq For Daisy, is Sandy obtained full custody. The girl is 17 years old, okay. Daisy is a disabled child, but up to the date of the divorce, Haziq incurred 4,006 and thereafter Sandy incurred 5,004. Which means kita nampak dekat sini both parents actually incur some expenses for the child during the year of the divorce too. So Daisy is a disabled child 6,000, but we have to divide by 2. Because now we're doing for Haziq, kita tak buat untuk Sandy, kita buat untuk Haziq. Now, even though the wife gets the custody for the children, for the child, but during the year, Haziq also maintain the child. So, we can divide by 2 lah. So, 6,000 divided by 2. So, Haziq gets 3,000. And the lifestyle relief maximum is 2,005. And National Education Savings Scheme 7,000. So, that will give us a relief of 29,500. So Haziq's chargeable income would be 68,783. Any question up to chargeable income here?
Madam, I am Charida. I
Yeah,
want to ask questions.
yeah.
For the National Education Savings Scheme, ikut tahun madam, sebab
Yes.
kat dalam nota ni 6,000.
Yeah, ikut tahun. So
Okay,
this
thank you
is
madam.
2019 2019 7,000 kan 2019. So you just refer to, that's why I said you need the tax relief, the one that I shared in your My Guru tu, refer to this one for any year of assessment. But for your midterm and also final exam, because this is soalan ni I take from my previous notes. For your exam, I think I will use either 2019 or 2020 year assessment. So you need this one, 2020 and 2019. So for this question for 2019, so 2019, the PTPTN would be 7,000. So 2019 PTPTN and maximum is 8,000. So he only save 7,000. So kita ambil 7,000 lah. Right? And this is the tax payable. Since the chargeable income is 68,000, so it is between 50,000 to, mana table kita tadi? Between 50 to 70. So the first 50, 1,800. So the next would be 14%. Any other question tak? Yeah.
Madam dapat
Dapat.
18,783 balance.
Yeah. So balance time 14% lah, based on the table. So first 50, because the chargeable income is 68,783 kan? So the first 50 based on the table 1,800. Balance would be 18,783 times 14%. Dapat 443. Yeah.
Kiranya DSC tu dia tak belajar dekat college kan madam?
Tak. Because Daisy ni, if you look at the ni kan, dia kata private music lessons through correspondent college in New Zealand. Tak ada. Kita ambil 6,000 je. Because the child, for disabled child, this is not considered as university lah. Remember, kalau disabled, duduk university, buat diploma or above, that will give them additional of 8,000 kan. Here tak adalah, she is disabled, so dia cuma dapat 6,000 je. Sebab dia 17, below 18 years kan.
Okay madam.
Alright. So for the tax payable ni, okay no problem Because I don't share the table here, table dalam notes tadi. You all can see my screen now, Mr. Vincent Chin ni.
Yes.
Okay, so this is another question. Nak buat sekarang ke nak buat balik ke? Balik memang dah balik rumah kan. For this question, I want you to try but you have to skip the first part dulu. Part 1 and 2 ni tak payah buat lagi. Because we haven't done apa ni? Business income This one no need. This one no need. You just ignore the additional information here. We'll come back to this question. So you do not throw away the questions. When we finish doing business taxation, we'll come back to this question. Because from this one question, kita boleh buat macam-macam. So just like Haziq just now, when I give you the quiz, it is actually up to total income. And we can add on the relief question. So for this Mr. Vincent Chin ni, he actually has business but I want you to skip the business part first. Kita start dengan additional information number 3 terus So here Vincent, tax resident, age 53, manager at Lim Brothers from 1st July 2011. So on 24th December 2017, his service was terminated as the employer decided to move his business to Thailand. Vincent received compensation for loss of employment of 60,000 and bonus of 12,000 was paid on 31st January 2018. So he received 25,000 respect royalties from writing a book on mainland Chinese history, miscellaneous income, blah, blah, blah. Married to Patricia, tax resident, physically disabled after suffering a stroke. They have 2 unmarried children of their own and 1 legally adopted child. Eldest son, pursuing engineering degree, blah, blah, blah. Banyak lah. These are all about the child, really, the children. He owns a bungalow which he rents out for 8,000 per month, incurred 34,000 on interest on mortgage, fire insurance of 2,600, donated 5,000 cash to an approved Malaysian charitable institution, received by interest, also received 70,000 as annuity, income as she made cash donation of 1,000 to an approved local charitable organisation. Okay. So here you have to compute tax payable for both Vincent and Patricia. Income tak Patricia ni. Okay. So you understand the question Now you have to compute 2 tax computation for Vincent and also his wife under separate assessment. So assumption is made that the child really will be claimed by Vincent Chin. Alright, so when you have this kind of question, how do you start? I will guide you halfway je but I want you to complete the question and kita boleh tengok next week. So here you start with Vincent Chin, of course, and ignore the business income dulu the business source ignore dulu. So for Vincent Chin, we will start with, even for Patricia, so you must remember bila kita buat the different types of income, we always start with for A, but for A kita belum belajar kan, so you will go with for B, for C, for D. Dia sampai 40 je ni. Alright. I will share, do you want me to share this question dekat my guru or share dekat WhatsApp group terus je?
Group ada.
My guru
WhatsApp.
Alright. So maybe you want to read the question first, and if you have any question, just let me know.
Kadang kalau anak angkat tu dah legally adopted, dia tu anak dia kan?
Yep.
So we can claim lah.
Yes.
Alright.
Because if you look at the child relief, the definition of a child too, as long as it is legally adopted, then it considered as can claim child relief as well, provided that he or she is maintained by the parents. But remember, when you do the tax computation, whenever you see, even though the income is exempted, please do not forget to write down the income as well. Jangan tinggal je. Just write down whether the type of income that he or she received, just write exempted. Saya letak under learning material dalam My Guru ni.
Okay, madam.
Still under topic 6, personal taxation. Saya tambah terus dekat sini je. So you will see a lot of materials under personal taxation ni. Alright. So here for this question, if you look at the child relief dia ada macam-macam Even the wife is disabled, and then 2 unmarried children and 1 legally adopted child. And pursuing degree, produce receipt, contributed EPF, paid life insurance, daughter, studying local secondary school. Vincent's father, who is 75, received a pension 1,200, stayed with him in 2018. So Vincent contributed 620 under the Social Security Protection Scheme. This is SOCSO. So go back to the notes and check lah kita punya SOCSO ni. And here you are doing your assessment 2018. So please refer to the tax relief for year assessment 2018. So here Patricia also received 70,000 as annuity income, and she made cash donation of 1,000 to an approved local charitable organization. So you can follow the format just now, the one that I shared with you. Even in your notes pun kita ada format. You can also refer to notes yang saya letak under chargeable income tu. So I've shared with you, I think, 1 slide on chargeable income. So the full format is in there. You all try buat tak ni? Have you tried? Are you trying? Ke tengok aja? So this type of question will definitely will be one of your final exam question. So a comprehensive question macam ni. It's just that you have to really understand lah whether it is a separate assessment or combined assessment. So whenever you see like this question kan, separate assessment means we have to prepare for both sebab ada dua set tax computation. But if it is a combined assessment, kalau combine, the keyword is combined assessment, you will have only one tax computation. Jangan nak buat dua set pula. So here you're going to have two sets. If you have no question, I will let you continue, and I expect to see some answers next week. Because next week I plan to do, kita dah habis personal taxation ni. So for next week kita boleh buat, where's my...
No, for this you nak bukan under assignment lah kan? Maksudnya ada immediate submission ke tak ada?
Apa dia?
Vincent punya question ni tak ada immediate submission kan?
Tak ada. Oh, and if you remember, saya ada share soalan Mr. Sim hari tu kan? Mr. Sim lupa, kita dah buat habis belum Mr. Sim? Because last time Mr. Sim kita stop up to the investment. I skip the relief part. So you can also try again Mr. Sim question tu. So under personal taxation ni, I've put a lot of materials, I think. So ada personal relief, ada pelepasan cukai 2020, ada notes, ada Mr. Sim here together with the answer dah Mr. Sim ni. Tengok sikit apa benda dia Mr. Sim ni. Lupa lah. Oh yeah. Mr. Sim, you can refer to Mr. Sim, Mr. Sim that I have uploaded to Mr. Sim to the question together with the answer. So this is how you should present your answer. Dalam my guru tu dah ada Mr. Sim tu under personal taxation. So if you need information about this topic, semua ada dekat personal taxation tu lah. We have Mr. Sim question and answer, and also Vincent Chin. Vincent Chin ni tak ada answer lagi lah, question je. Alright, so if you have no question, I will see you next week. So if you have any question about this question, nanti boleh tanya saya later je lah. But please go through Mr. Sim question. That would be a very good guideline for you. Sebab Mr. Sim tu saya dah provide dengan answer sekali. But it is only up to chargeable income. For this one, this question you kena calculate sampai tax payable. Macam ini example kita buat tadi. Alright, any other questions tak?
Tanya pasal assignment boleh?
Ya.
Assignment part tu yang dekat bahagian saya yang venue
Di mana saya tak dengar apa dia?
dekat rubric tu kan ada bahagian yang Madam dapat section kan?
Itu just the ni je, group leader je. Not everyone have to submit.
And then dekat bahagian saya tu study yang dah dilakukan dulu tu. So maksudnya saya kena buat summary pada artikel tu ke atau macam mana?
Summary? You mean the question, the assignment question tu? No, you all have to, you need to produce two things kan. Satu, the report, full report. And satu lagi, a video speech lah. And the summary tu just follow the ni je, the instruction je. Summary of previous study tu, it is up to you nak discuss together or nak letak one section for the summary. Just follow the table of content yang saya bagi tu je.
Okay.
Alright, so mana the question Alright, so here kan, this is the report introduction about the topic, prior studies about the topic, discussion, summary, references. So summary is the summary of the whole topic lah. Let's say you choose topic number 1, so the implication blah 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 ni. So just explain and not necessarily you follow strictly apa yang saya letak dekat sini lah. If let's say your topic ni macam nak discuss enterprise studies, you can combine. But basically these are the things that I will look for lah. The intro, the discussion about the topic, and then how you summarize or you conclude. It can be summary or conclusion, and also the references. And don't forget to submit your draft. Group leader sahaja, and I will check and get back to you. Together with the proof lah that you discuss with the group members. Okay? Any other question?
No, madam.
Alright, kalau tak ada soalan, that's all for today. I'll see you next week. Tak boleh, puasa-puasa tak boleh lama-lama.
Madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Selamat berpuasa.
Mak berbuka.
Selamat berbuka. Tak tahu lagi apa benda nak berbuka hari ni. Tak fikir menu lagi. Alright, thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.